upon a time, I was a princess in this fairy tale. Gumdrop streets where the sun would always shine, until a new world came along. Lights, camera, action.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Lowdown with Princess Skywalker. I am your host, Jessie B, and we have John Anthony with me tonight, as usual. I would like to officially announce that John is going to be the permanent co-host of the Lowdown with Princess Skywalker from this night going forward. So, everybody give John a follow at Chairshot Sports and go follow his YouTube show at Chairshot Sports as well. How are you tonight, John?
I'm good. Very, very honored. I appreciate it. And it's fun to be here every week talking with you. So, yeah, gonna have some fun.
Yep, good times. We have fun. So, we have a very special guest tonight. We are waiting for him to enter the room. We have got Fuego del Sol coming to join us tonight. So that's going to be super exciting. He should be on at any point. AEW last night we'll talk about a little bit while we're waiting on Fuego, but it was a decent show. The best match of the night was 100% want to talk about Darby Allin and Will Ospreay, because that match was absolute fucking fire.
5.5 stars, baby. 5.5 stars.
Yeah, that freaking match was absolutely phenomenal. Like, wow.
Styles clash off the apron onto the ground. I love it. I'm here for it. Awesome. It was a great match, man. I loved it. It was great.
Darby's crazy.
Probably a lot of people, I guarantee you, didn't think Ospreay was going to put him over on that. So for Ospreay to put Darby over like that was awesome. Darby definitely needed that W. It was good to see that. I loved it.
Yeah, for sure. It was interesting to see that Darby went over Will Ospreay in that, but it was a phenomenal match. They did a really good job. I loved it. But I love Will Ospreay.
Yeah, Ospreay's been a really great soldier ever since coming over. I mean, he's put over Swerve, he's put over MJF, now he's putting over Darby. Like, he's using that star power and giving the rub to these guys, which is amazing. It's always good to see when a top tier talent will do that for you. It's hard. You don't find that a lot of egos get in the way. A lot of guys don't want to do it consecutively over and over. But Will's that guy, and obviously he can take L's all day, and he's still a fan favorite. They're chanting his name, they're singing the song. So kudos to him for doing that, helping out the younger guys coming up.
Yeah, absolutely. Another match that, shockingly enough, and coming from me, that was really good was Mercedes Moné and Anna Jay. I thought it was a good match. Anna Jay has come so far. Yeah. Like, her trip to Japan was so good for her. She was absolutely amazing last night.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, the crowd's still pretty cringe when she comes out. See Mercedes, obviously not Anna Jay, but no, it was good.
I'm still not a fan, but
yeah, but no, it was a good match. It was definitely better than what she's put on recently in the ring. So I think she was even a little more. I think she stepped her game up a little bit. But it was good to see. It was a good match. Definitely, yeah, better than most.
Yeah, that Tony Storm interview was fucking hilarious.
See, how do you feel about this angle? How do you feel about this amnesia thing? Like, I don't know how to feel about it. I'm not saying I don't like it. I'm not saying I like it. I just don't. I don't know, man. Like, I don't. It's the jury's out. I don't know how I feel about it yet, man. I don't know.
It's funny. I mean, I'll give it that much. It's definitely funny. So I'll 100% give it the funny factor. It'll be, to see where it goes from here. I look forward to that, because it's definitely interesting and it brings a whole new dynamic. But that interview was hilarious. I was cracking up.
No, you want to just do Tony time. Yeah. And I'm like, what are you doing, bro? Stop it.
Yeah, he's like, what if I say timeless Tony Storm? No, it's Tony time. Tony time.
Yes. I'll tell you right now, though, the one bad part of the entire night that I think, and again, I might be on the minority in this. I just and I'm not. I'd like that Ricochet went to AEW. I think they made him look like a punk. They made him look like a jobber next to what the Hurt Syndicate did to him. It just looked like he just looked like a punk. I just didn't like how they rescinded everything, kind of just threw him away. I don't know. Wasn't where I thought they'd go with that, kind of building up. Hey, Ricochet's taking L's, and now they're like, yeah, we don't even want to do business with you. Get out of here. And he's doing the, like in people's faces. I'm like, what are we doing, man?
Yeah, like what is that laugh? Like, bro, come on. Like, what are you doing?
Swerve almost broke. He did it the one right. Swerve was just like, that's why he did the laugh thing, and they cut it back when he said, "Oh, you still bald?" Like,
Yeah.
But I just think they made him look like a punk there, man. I didn't like that way they did it, but yeah, Ricochet. I'm really interested to see where they go with his character, like as we go down the road, because I feel like he's all over the place. Right, he's going for titles, he's taking L's, he's not really advancing in the tournament. I don't know, man.
Well, it's just like, why are you cawing like a bird in people's ears, bro? Like, what are you doing? You sound like a fucking bird.
Well, he did
Like
it
a
before
crow.
he did it in the interview with Renee, and he was like, "Ha!" I'm like, okay. And then right in Swerve's face, and Swerve's just like, I was like, yo, we almost got Swerve to crack. Oh, I like Ricochet, man.
I love Ricochet.
I think he's got some full reign right now in character. I love it. I just hope, they do him good, and they give him some titles and some gold, because like it's. I loved it.
All the matches in the Continental Classic have been pretty damn good so far. So it's been a pretty good tournament. There's been some really unexpected wins and losses in the Continental Classic.
I don't know, man. I mean, I know they're not trying to give people right off the street that come into the company belts, man, or the opportunities, but Shelton looks good, man. Like I knew he was good, but he looks damn good now, man. It's like the guy's been rejuvenated. Oh my God, it's like prime Shelton right now.
Absolutely.
I kind of see him coming out of the blue group. I don't know, man. It's him and Fletcher. I believe Fletcher right now has the lead with the most points.
Yeah.
I think Shelton's 1 point behind him. So it's going to be interesting to see who comes out of that group. But yeah.
Yeah, because his next one is we'll get him 12 points if he wins it.
Yep. Fletcher, right?
Yeah.
Yep. So
I don't think he's lost in the tournament yet.
And that's another one too, man.
He's the only one.
Yeah, and that's another thing too. Like, man, there's so many names you want to see come out of here, like out of this tournament. And oof, it's good, man. But yeah, I agree. The matches this time have been top tier, been awesome. No like stupid little, cheap matches, cheap little wins. Everything's been great. Bell to bell, been awesome. So I agree. Gold and on the blue and on the gold side as well. So
yeah, definitely.
But I don't know, man. I'm excited for this 4-way at World's End, man. I don't know. I think Mox still walks out with the belt though. I think he still walks out champion.
Yeah, I do too. Oh, our guest is here.
Let's go.
All right, let's go ahead and bring him on, everybody. Let's go ahead and add him. Welcome, Fuego. Thank you for being here tonight. Audio issues. Great thing about live.
Gotta love live streaming.
But yeah, I agree with you though, John.
Thank you guys for having me. So sorry about that.
Hey,
no worries.
Thank you so much, man.
Yeah, thank you for being here. You were actually the first official interview on the Lowdown. So I am so honored to have you on tonight. Thank you so much for joining us.
No problem. I'm sorry for your next guest because it's all downhill after this one.
Absolutely.
Here, baby. There's only so far you can go.
Set it high indeed.
No, but thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to be with us tonight. We're going to bother you for just a little bit. We've got like a 30 minutes with Fuego tonight. So our own little ESPN episode. We're going to give you a couple of questions, just kind of talk it out. This show is never organized. I am pure fucking chaos. But the dogs are locked up. So at least I won't be fighting the invisible dog tonight.
No
John.
phantoms. Awesome.
Yes. So Fuego, story behind that. I was podcasting. We were a couple weeks ago, and my dog, my 95-pound German Shepherd, was attacking me. But
My
because
God.
of my background, you couldn't see the dog, and you could just see me going like this, but you couldn't see the dog. It was fucking awesome. It was hilarious.
That's
All
hilarious.
right. Let's get things going. So I am going to go ahead and start off here with the first question. I'm going to be a little cliche here with this first question. And I want to know, what was your I want to be a wrestler moment? What made you want to do this?
Oh my goodness, the cliche of cliches. No, I mean, I've always loved pro wrestling. My dad was a huge pro wrestling fan, so I've just been watching wrestling for as long as I can remember. And then when I was about 14, I started filming me and my brothers and my friends and cousins and such neighborhood kids on the trampoline, and we filmed videos every week for like 4 or 5 years. And when I was 17, YouTube reached out to me to put ads on my videos, and I started making money from trampoline wrestling on YouTube. And it kind of an epiphany kind of happened where it was like, man, if I can do this wrestling on a trampoline and make money, why don't I give this a legitimate shot?
Hell yeah. That's really cool that you got started so young.
Yeah, I mean, again, it was only on a trampoline, so I didn't know the ins and outs of the ring and all the technical moves and such. But it was a great way to kind of get me in front of a camera and comfortable practicing selling and promos and stuff so young. And I always knew I loved the business. I just didn't know if it was possible. But once I started doing all of this for YouTube, I understood, okay, I can definitely make this a reality.
That's awesome.
Awesome. So with doing all the trampoline stuff and getting in front of a camera, getting comfortable, learning everything, the ins and outs and everything, kind of where's the one point where you got kind of the big break, where you kind of got noticed by a company, by a promotion, kind of gave you that chance to be in front of someone and kind of get your name out there?
Well, I originally, it was just, we started making close to around like anywhere from like $1,500 to $2,000 a month off of YouTube, which was like ridiculous for a 17, 18-year-old.
Wow.
So my first,
hell yeah,
you're rich. That's big money at that age, man.
At that time, yes, I bought a car. I was like feeling like living the life.
Awesome.
Hell yeah.
I was trying to buy us a wrestling ring because I wanted to turn my backyard promotion and take it up a notch and make it legit. And the guy I reached out to who bought and sold rings, he was like, I don't feel comfortable selling a 17-year-old untrained backyard wrestler a wrestling ring. He's like, but I will train you guys if you guys want to learn how to, do this in ring. And so I said, of course. And I paid for me and a couple of my backyard wrestling buddies to get training. So we started training 3 nights a week, and we just trained. And this guy was a great trainer, and he brought in a bunch of guys. If he didn't know something well, or he wasn't versed in one style of wrestling, he brought in a bunch of guys just to help us learn. And he introduced us to the Armstrong family. For those who don't know, the Road Dogg from DX, his dad and brothers all wrestled before, and they're the Armstrongs. And I got to work alongside Hall of Famer Bullet Bob Armstrong and Steve, his son, and a bunch of the Armstrongs about 3 months into my career. And so we did it my first ever match in May of 2014. And I was off to the races ever since. So once the company in Pensacola, Florida let me have my first match there, I was wrestling as much as I possibly could.
That's awesome.
That's really awesome that, you were able to take that, dream and, something you loved growing up and turn it into a reality.
Yeah, I now also have my own school where I teach people here in Oklahoma, and I tell them all the time that I will never forget, like, my about to walk through the curtain for the first time ever at that little indie show in Florida, and having the butterflies in my stomach, the excitement, because I knew my music was about to hit, and I could like finally say I'm a professional wrestler. Like it's a moment that will be ingrained in my mind forever. And I still think about that, and it still brings a smile to my face. And I tell people, just soak in the moment when it's time for you to finally have your first match, because there's nothing like it in this world.
Yeah, if you could take that feeling and bottle it, man, you'd be and sell it. You'd be a trillionaire, man. It's priceless to have that feeling. You only get your first time once, so it's amazing to hear that. It's awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I used to come up with promos and shit when I was younger because I wanted to be a valet. That was before women were like big in wrestling, but I was too chicken shit to do anything about it because I'm not good about getting up in front of people and like doing shit. So yeah, never happened. Now I'm too old. So so once your career got going and it's been where it's been, what has been your most challenging match that you've had?
Well, the most challenging, without a doubt, would be February of 2023. I was in a match in San Francisco? No, Sacramento. There we go. Sacramento, California is where I was at. And maybe it was a triple threat match. And maybe 3-4 minutes into the match, I do a drop kick off the top rope and I land on my foot and I break it. Broke it in 5 different spots. And I pretty much knew immediately. I told the referee, I'm pretty sure I just broke my foot. However, I knew that a bunch of people had came to see me. I knew the promoter was kind of counting on me, and no one else knew that my foot was broken. So I hobbled my way through the rest of this match. And instead of hitting big moves that I originally thought I was going to hit, I just started doing Stone Cold Stunners, and the crowd was laughing at that. So I think they slowly figured out I was hurt. And so it put me on the shelf. First time ever in my life I had a major injury. It put me on the shelf for 4 months. I had to have surgery and such. But yeah, just 3 minutes into like a 12 to 15 minute match, and my foot's just completely broken. And I had to just hobble and push my way through it. And I did a pretty good job. So much so that I thought maybe my foot is just like fractures. Maybe it's not broken. And then no, we get the x-rays back and there's 5 different fractures, completely broken.
Ouch. I imagine that had to hurt like a bitch after the match was over, once the adrenaline wore off.
Oh yeah, when adrenaline started coming down, I took some pain pills for sure. I think though, more than anything, with the injury I learned, because again, I played sports all my life, but I never broke a bone up until that point. And it was just more mental than anything else, of like, oh damn, I'm gonna be on the shelf for 4 months. I gotta rehab this, I gotta relearn how to walk and how to balance. And it was a more of a mental toll than it was a physical toll. As long as I didn't put pressure on it, the pain was pretty much, it was fine.
Wow.
Damn,
that's wild.
That had to be hard.
Doesn't sound easy to say that.
No, those 4 months felt like 4 years.
Yeah, I bet. Especially when you're used to being in the ring a lot and just go, go, go. And all of a sudden you're just stuck. That definitely has to be an adjustment.
Wow. So when you got your first break, you're all set, you're ready to go. Did you always have the idea to have obviously the lucha lore of the mask and everything like that? Did you always, Fuego de Sol was always what you wanted to do? Where'd you get the inspiration for that? Was something passed down to you? Kind of where did that kind of maturate from?
I was 18 when I first started, and I was maybe 130 pounds soaking wet. I was so small. But my trainer saw the passion that I had, and I was very athletic. I could do a bunch of flips, just doing all the trampoline stuff. And he told me I reminded him of a young Rey Mysterio, and maybe we should go that route and put you in a mask early. But to make sure it was authentic, I started training lucha. I actually did multiple tours in Mexico and learned, how to do this and do it properly. And at worst case, he was like, let's put on some weight and get a little bigger. And then maybe in a couple of years, we'll take off the mask. And there was also, one of my best friends, he also wore a mask, and he was, I'm fire, Fuego. He was ice, yellow. And so we were kind of a tag team, but he also had another character without the mask, and we wrestled each other at a lot of indies early on. And so mine kind of just stuck because me and him were wrestling each other so much with him without the mask that it kind of just morphed into if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And slowly but surely, after 7 years, I end up at AEW, and I'm like, wow, I guess I'm never taking this thing off.
Yeah, no shit.
That's awesome. Why reinvent the wheel, right? If it's working, man, whatever brought you to the dance, go with it, baby. Just roll it. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. So I was first introduced to you through the vlog because I started watching the vlog before I started watching AEW. I was a tribalistic asshole for like a year and a half and I wouldn't watch it. And I was like, fuck this shit. I'm not watching it, whatever. And then I came across the vlog. How did you get hooked up with Sammy?
Oh, another funny story, right? Sammy's YouTube channel now is huge. But back when we first, I guess I should preface this by saying I am originally from Mobile, Alabama. I got a soccer scholarship to move to Oklahoma. And so I moved to Oklahoma and I started wrestling in Oklahoma during the off season of soccer. I was trying to break into the Texas scene and I didn't know anyone. I knew companies in Oklahoma. I started wrestling for companies in Oklahoma, but I didn't know any independent companies down in Texas. So I got on Facebook and I made up my resume, wrestling resume of who I've wrestled, who I was trained by, where I'm located, all this good stuff. And I just started sending out messages to all the companies in Texas. I just searched up Texas wrestling on Facebook. And if they had a company, I sent them my resume. And when I was looking at all these companies, there was this one company in Texas called Texas Outlaw Promotions. And there was a promo of their champion on the show. And it was none other than Sammy Guevara. And I just noticed it. And I really didn't think nothing of it. I was checking out all these different companies. And lo and behold, like 3 weeks later, I got an email to my YouTube channel, you know, the one that did all the backyard wrestling. And the email said, "Hello, I'm a young up-and-coming wrestler. I'm trying my damnedest to blow up on YouTube, and I've been messaging all the wrestling YouTube channels I could find to see if they would maybe promote me and help me grow my channel. Signed, Sammy Guevara." And I said, wow. I said, if you can help me wrestle in Texas, I will promote you on my YouTube channel. And he helped me get booked, and me and him started wrestling, and we became really good friends. He helped me get booked at a different promotion in Mexico. So I flew down there with him. We just really became friends. I would help him with YouTube. He would help me just growing. And his career, he's 2 years older than me. His career was a little bit farther along than mine. So he would just always help me out. And I would always help him out with YouTube, as well as we would be each other's cameramen, you know, our audio guys, whatever we needed. I was like, hey, I know how much of a hassle it is. Some people don't like being on camera. Some people don't like holding the camera. Some people don't like any of this. I'm down for everything. Whatever you need, you let me know, as long as it's the same goes for you. And he was like, absolutely. And we became very good friends really early on. Then I remember in November of 2018 getting a phone call. And he was like, hey, bro, this hasn't even been announced yet. Nobody even knows about this. He's like, but I just signed with AEW. And I was like, holy shit. You know, I'd watched BTE. I heard about all the rumors after All In. I was like, oh my goodness. You know, and it was like, I was almost living vicariously through my friend. It was like he won, and it felt like in a way that I won, right? A year goes by. He's wrestling Cody in the first match of Dynamite. I flip on the TV at my real job, and I'm just watching my friend with a giant smile on my face open up the first Dynamite. That's so cool. And then the pandemic hits. All of AEW's wrestlers are stuck in Japan, Mexico, Canada. They can't get in. They're starting to use extras and independent wrestlers to cheer in the audience, and they will reward the extras with a match. And I saw this, and I messaged Sammy about it, and Sammy was like, absolutely, I can get you on. And so not only did I come down and get on, but I also got to help him more with the vlogs. So I would film stuff for him, and we would do different things, and I'd come up with ideas. Sammy will always say that Fuego's an idea guy. There were so many of these dumb bits that I come up with. You know, QT Marshall was actually booking the extras at that time, and he was doing this bit on Sammy's vlog where he was trashing extras. And I don't mind ever being the butt of the joke. And so I, you know, opened myself up to QT just talking mad shit on me. And slowly but surely, QT took a liking to me, so he started booking me every week. I got into a bit with Cody Rhodes, and Cody started liking me, and he told QT to keep booking me every week. And that was probably when I started getting booked every single week, was probably in October of 2020. And by August of 2021, I was signed to AEW.
That's awesome. That's super ironic that you and him were doing the exact same thing at the exact same time, but for different purposes. And you guys just happened to come across each other.
It was so insane. I couldn't believe it. It felt like fate. It was like I literally was just I just got introduced to you just by happenstance a couple weeks earlier, and then out of nowhere you email my YouTube channel. It's nuts. It's nuts.
I was
That's
about
really
to say
cool.
that's fate, man. That's definitely like that's a hand washing another. All the rising waters raise all the ships. So that's amazing that both you could help each other and getting you to AEW. That's awesome.
Absolutely. I mean, I jokingly wrote on at his wedding, I was his best man, and I wrote on one of the big, congratulatory notes. I was like, super proud of you, kid. Thanks for my career, as a joke, and just to pop him. And I definitely mean that, because he helped me out so much to get to AEW. If he doesn't introduce me there, I probably never get signed. I don't have the career that I do now. So very thankful for him.
Well, and then the same turn, you helped make his YouTube show as popular as it was. So you gave him all the pointers. And I mean, like I said, that's why I started watching AEWs, because I came across the vlog. So
it was a special time, especially during the pandemic. Sammy's vlog was so great, because we just weave things together, and we got things like we could convince Tony to put stuff on AEW Dark, even though he would never put it on TV, but we slowly convinced him to do it on Dark, and it just slowly morphed into what we wanted to do. And me and QT had a big blow-off match in March of 2021, and it kind of changed Tony's perspective on both me and QT. QT was being an asshole in the vlog, but he was still this goofy Cody assistant babyface on television. And so like that match kind of opened him up to be like, okay, maybe we can do something different with QT. And lo and behold, like a month later, he was feuding with Cody,
And he was amazing as that character too. That was a great run for him with Cody, man. He did a really good job. That was good.
I agree.
Yeah, the vlog had some funny shit. That's what I used to do while my kid was in his jiu-jitsu classes. I'd sit there and watch the vlog for something to do while he was in there.
So I guess to take a page out of the cliche book, I guess we talked about your most difficult match. Obviously, you've been doing this a long time, so I know this is a difficult question for asking any wrestler. So far, maybe you haven't had it yet that you know of, but right now, what is your favorite match you've had so far in any promotion that you've been with anybody at this moment?
That is such a hard question.
I know. I hate to ask it, but she took the difficult match. I had to take the favorite match. I
understand. I
had to do it.
I can't name just one. I can name you a couple different instances and tell you different reasons why.
All right.
Of course, the QT Marshall match, just because on the indies, so many times you get booked for a show and you have to wrestle a match, and there's really no story or rhyme or reason. It's hard to tell stories on the indies just because you have a different audience every week, and maybe they're not keeping up. You don't have a TV show, an episodic TV show every week to kind of tell the story. And me and QT started this thing as a goof for the vlog, and it slowly morphed into, almost a 6-month-long story that culminated in this Dark match. And like what people don't realize is we used to film Dark some nights after Dynamite. And back then, Dynamite was filmed 2 weeks at a time. So we filmed Dynamite on a Wednesday night live, and then on Thursday we tape it for it to air the next week. So then everyone would get a week off in between tapings. Well, this was a Thursday night, and on Thursdays, Tony likes to come out and talk to the wrestlers after their matches. So, when you're doing something live, you got to keep the time restraints. On Thursday, we did not have time restraints. So we probably didn't even start Dark until like 11:30 at night. Jesus. Maybe even later than that, right? And then he books 19, maybe 20 matches that night. That's a lot of freaking matches.
That's very TK. That's very TK.
Yes, because he's filming multiple weeks of Dark as well.
Yep.
Then I found out both me and QT have other matches before our match at the end of the night. So we're both already tired. It's like, will we have, and we're tired, we're both sore. Will we have the energy to put on, to want to put our effort into this match? Also, the crowd out there have would probably already saw and cheered for a ton of matches. But when our match got announced, so many signed talent and unsigned talent were so excited to find out me and QT were wrestling that night that they all come and surrounded the ring. It was like a locker room sellout for people to watch this match. It was like probably, if not the last, next to last match of the night after you've seen a whole Dynamite, a bunch of time in between Dynamite, all these dark matches. We finally get to this match, and the match delivers. And I think with the story leading up to it and the whole day and seeing that wrestlers in better positions than us, making more money than us, who don't need to come out and support us, came to support us because they've also enjoyed the story that we've been telling. That is what made the match so special for me. I really, besides me hitting the DDT for the first time, I can't even remember most of the moves of the match. I just know how we made people feel. And that's the old cliche in wrestling, right? They'll forget what you say, they'll forget what you do, but they'll never forget the way you made them feel.
Yep.
And that's peak wrestling storytelling that I am now addicted to and that I want to tell. So I feel like that was the ultimate match that had a story behind it that we built up. It was awesome. Now, second to that, I would say not more so the match, but the moment that came after is the night I got signed and I wrestled Miro in a 5-minute match. I think because I didn't know I was getting signed. Right. And we only had 5 minutes, but Miro come to me and told me what the match was going to be. I was stoked. I was so focused on this matchup. And I think it's one of the best matches under 5 minutes ever. I think it's definitely top 5. So, they say sometimes it's not about matches in wrestling. Sometimes it's about moments. And then we created a moment after with signing me. But I think the whole thing, the little video package beforehand, they showed about me, the match itself, and then them surprising me with the contract is such a moment that it's got to go up there as one of my favorite matches. And literally a night later, the night I got signed, the next day I already had an independent show scheduled in Poughkeepsie, New York, for NEW up in New England. And it was going to be me versus Sammy Guevara in the main event. So the guy who gave me the contract the night before, now me and him fly to New York, and we're about to wrestle. And we just come up with this super fun matchup that involves QT Marshall, that involved my mentor, Cody Rhodes, that involved his mentor, Chris Jericho, doing their moves. Nice. It was super fun. And it was almost like the crowd knew that, like, hey, the vlog guys, they did it. They just got signed. Let these guys go out there and just have some fun. And we're going to ride the wave that they take us on. And it was really fun. And at the end of the night, QT Marshall comes out, cuts a promo. We hit him with the DDT, send the crowd home happy. It was wrestling my best friend the night after he helped me get signed. It was a really super fun match. So that one is up there as well. And I guess one more shout out is that after I got released last year, I had to hit the indies hard. And I didn't know when my next big match would come. And I got to wrestle Blake Christian for the GCW World Championship in February in Dallas. And we went almost 30 minutes long. And it was the first time post AEW that I think I got to show the wrestling world that when given some time, I can really go. I can put together a great matchup because I never got to wrestle past 10 minutes in AEW. So to really show the crowd, hey, I'm not just this fun vlog guy that loses a lot. When you give me time, I can go in that ring.
Yeah, what was it? A 37 match losing streak, something like that. I think I saw
it was
today.
Up there. It was up there for sure.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah, I can
agree with them too, man. They came to Worcester. I went to a Dynamite, went to go to a taping, and they do Honored in the beginning, and then Dark. I'm looking. I'm like, I got here at 7:00. It's 11:45. I'm here for 5 hours, man. But you get your money. Hey, listen, you buy one ticket, you get 3 shows, a lot of matches.
Yeah, you get your money's worth.
Yeah, but even the biggest wrestling fan in the world doesn't want to watch 20 matches in a row. No, nobody wants to watch 20
matches.
No matter how good that last match is, I'm sure you're always like,
yes.
Okay.
Yes,
my husband always goes with me, and he's not really a wrestling fan per se. He'll watch it, but he's not like a huge fan. And after a while, he's just like, "Good Lord."
Yeah.
He's like, I'm gonna go outside and smoke. He's like, I've had enough. Like, I'm done.
My wife, I brought her in WWE, so that's all she really knows. So like, I just start getting her into AEW, so she doesn't know anybody. It's 5 hours, and she's like, all right, can we go home? Like, is it done? Like, I'm like,
Is it done
yeah, last
yet?
match. This is the last match. We can go. And then TK comes out, talks to the crowd. I'm like, we got to go, man. Like, can we?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I feel like no one will ever get mad if a wrestling show goes too short, but they will always remember if it goes
If
too
it
long.
goes too long.
You
Mhm.
can't get mad when you watch these shows, though. You can't get mad.
You're right.
I went the second to last show that I went to here in Colorado was the one where it was sunny at the beginning of the show, and by the time the show was over, there was like 6 inches of snow on the ground, and it was
My
just
God.
pure and utter fucking chaos.
How long was your show? What?
It was like 3 hours because they just did it, but it was literal
work.
chaos. We had to stop and stay somewhere because it ended up snowing so fucking much we couldn't get home.
Man.
Because it was an
Wow.
hour and a half away. It was insane though. But it was a great show that night.
See? That's all that matters. You're like weather, whatever, but
That's all I
it's
can remember is that it was a
HDL,
really
it's all
good
that matters.
show.
Yeah,
And we got to stay at a cool hotel, so that was that was a plus.
even
Absolutely.
better.
But I remember the night that you got signed, actually. I was watching it in the car. We were in the mountains, and I was actually watching it on my phone in the car. And I was like, oh shit, that's fucking awesome. Because I had always been a fan since the vlog. So I was like, that's so fucking cool. But yeah, I remember watching it in the McDonald's parking lot up in the mountains.
It was a special night indeed.
That's amazing, man. You always remember your first signing, man. That's great.
Absolutely. Well, dude, I think we're about done with our questions for tonight. It was so fucking cool having you on here. Thank you so much for coming on and talking with us and giving us some of your experiences. And
I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much for having me. It was a fun conversation. I hope you guys enjoyed it just as much as I did.
No, I didn't.
absolutely, man, absolutely. You know, it's great to see you back in AEW again. You know, doing matches. You know, it's awesome. When you showed up, that was like, oh shit. I was like, that's fucking awesome that they're using him again. So that's really fucking cool.
Yeah, I had a major goal at the beginning of this year to get back on TV somehow, some way. And I've done that in a couple of different ways. And so I'm hoping to really lock in a contract in 2025 somewhere. So we'll see what happens.
Well, anybody would be lucky to have you, dude. You're a talented man.
I really appreciate that. Thank you.
You are more than welcome.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome to watch you on TV, and I'm sure it's going to happen sooner than later. So, yeah, man, good luck with everything. Awesome.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you very much. Well, I hope you have a great night. We're going to go ahead and end the show tonight because John's got things to do too. And we did a late one. So, again, thank you so much, Fuego del Sol, for coming on tonight. Everybody go give this dude a follow on his YouTube, on his X page, Twitter. I always want to call it Twitter. Go see his matches. Go see his indie shows. Go support this man. So thank you again for coming on. Thank you, John, and welcome to the show full time as my full-time co-host. I hope everybody has a fantastic night, and thank you so much for joining us. Bye.